What would be the ideal deportation scenario for those that are in our country illegally? Check out this clip from Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, talking to Bari Weiss on her program. Well, let's watch it and we'll talk about it afterwards. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Okay, well, let's talk about what I think is arguably the biggest story in America right now, which is the fight over deportations. And curious how that should rank in terms of priorities that you just lined up for me. But the president suggested in an Oval Office meeting with President Bukele of El Salvador that American citizens might be deported to El Salvador. Here's what he said. He said that Bukele, in addition to the prison, I think it's pronounced Sikat, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, might have to build new places to house deported American citizens. And over the weekend, your old colleague in the Senate, John Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, hardly a squish, he was unequivocal in saying that the president cannot do such a thing. He said, we have our own laws. We have the Eighth Amendment to the Constitution. We shouldn't send prisoners to foreign countries. So, is he correct? Should we take the president seriously, but not literally, in that Oval Office meeting? Which is it?
Well, two things. The first, the president talked about the most dangerous and vile criminals imaginable, and the question is whether you could send them to be in a prison in some other country. But the second point the president made, and I was there when he said it, and I was there when he said it in the past, is I don't know about the legalities of that. You'll have to ask DOJ. Maybe that's not possible because of our laws. So he acknowledged that in his statement. I think the broader point on deportations, and it's the one that really is in the news these days, is we have people here illegally in this country from other countries. And one of the things we've done at the State Department is work with those countries to take back their citizens, to take back people that are citizens. That's where you deport people. You deport them back to the country that they came from. They are unlawfully in the country, and that's where they're supposed to be returned. And that's what we've worked on doing. In the case of El Salvador, in addition to that, they've been willing to take Tren de Aragua gang members because Venezuela was refusing to take them. And this is now a designated terrorist organization, one of the most dangerous gangs in the history of the world that's infiltrated our country, and we want them out of our country. We don't want them in our country.
One of the things the president and you have done in the past 90-something days, it feels like it's been a lot longer than that, has been to successfully, I cannot even imagine how long it's felt for you, has been to successfully close the southern border. And yet that story has been just totally overtaken with the story of some of these individual deportations that have captured the national conversation and that many people, even people that voted for Trump, are opposed to. And so I want to just ask you a bigger question, which is, what message is the president trying to send with these deportations? You know, is it about deterring people from coming, or is it about terrifying people that have been here for years, that have paid taxes for many, many years, and might even have American children? Should they be scared of deportation? Like, what is the message that the president and the State Department is trying to send?
Well, two things. The State Department isn't involved necessarily in the issue of migratory enforcement. We're involved in making sure that foreign countries take back the citizens that are in our country illegally of their countries. So I would say two things. Number one, mass migration is almost entirely based on an incentive system. People were coming to this country under Joe Biden because they knew if they got to the border and claimed asylum, said these magic words, they would be allowed to come in and they would be allowed to stay. Almost 90% success rate if you said the magic words. So people were coming. Now they know that if they come, they won't get to stay, and they've stopped coming, which is why it's the most secure border we've had in modern history. And in fact, we've seen a new phenomenon, which is people that were on their way here sort of do a U-turn and go back. We've seen that play out. And that's an enormous achievement because it stops the problem. That still leaves us with a fundamental challenge. And that is that we have in this country millions of people, some who have been here many years, some who have been here for a year and a half or two, who are unlawfully in the United States. And it's this simple. If you say the speed zone is 70 miles an hour, but people know they're not going to get a ticket unless they go 90 miles an hour, no one's going to drive under the speed limit. You have to have laws, and laws have to be enforced. If you don't enforce your laws, then your laws become meaningless. And that's what's happened in this country over the last 20 years. We were not enforcing our immigration laws, and now we are. Obviously, they're going to prioritize the most dangerous people, dangerous criminals. If you look at the manifest of these flights of people that are being deported, these are some of the most vile human beings imaginable that we're getting out of our country: sex offenders, rapists, killers. That's who we're prioritizing and being sent out. But let there be no doubt, we have immigration laws. And if you are in violation of those immigration laws, you have no right to be in the country. Now, some will choose to leave voluntarily. Others may get caught up and be forced to leave, but they are prioritizing the most dangerous. But that said, you have to have there's no point in having immigration laws if you have no intent to enforce them.
So there's a lot of stuff being said over here, and a lot of it I would be on board with, and I think a lot of Americans are on board with as well. On the one hand, if someone is here illegally and is involved in the most heinous of activities, are gang members, are rapists, are murderers, obviously I don't think you don't have to be a staunch conservative to say, well, maybe those people really shouldn't be in our country and they should be deported back to their country of origin. After all, a nation needs to have strong borders or it doesn't exist. You need to have strong borders. So that's on the one hand. There does need to be an enforcement of our borders, of our laws, and to deport those that are not here in a legal fashion. Then you have the other side of the coin where there's people that maybe came in illegally in the first place, but have lived peaceful lives, have established families, have contributed to society in productive ways. What should be with them? Although they came initially, it was illegal in the way that they did that, and there should be penalties for that and so forth. But should they be deported back to their country, and should ICE remove them in the same way that they're removing MS-13 people? And so that, I think there's a lot more discussion and discomfort, perhaps even amongst those that call themselves Republicans or conservatives. And so, yes, on the one hand, a country needs to have laws, and a country needs to have borders, and strong borders at that, because if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. But then the question is, okay, well, those that are here in peace, that maybe again came illegally, what kind of process could there be that they would be able to stay here long term, maybe not even become full citizens, but to stay here in a way that they don't have to worry about ICE chasing them down randomly, and have the laws, but implement those laws with kindness and mercy. That's just some food for thought. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well in the comments below. And if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.